Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have all of you guys here. Today is Friday, July 5th, 2019. I hope you guys had a really good 4th of July and had some fun. But even if you stayed home, and just kicked it back on the couch, that's fine too, as long as you enjoy yourself. That's the main point. As long as you enjoyed your holiday. And now we got to get back to business here. Today is the first day after the holidays are over, and we're going to get the chart started right here, and we're going to take a look first at the silver price. Now, the silver price they've been smashing it this morning, and I mean smashing it. It's down to 15 bucks. It's down 24 cents on the day. They're in the process of smashing it right now as we speak. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is being smashed like anything. $13.91. It's down $23.70 on the day so far. Very discouraging. They are still in the business of smashing down gold and silver prices. They're going to be able to keep this up until they can't anymore. This is all as a protection. They're protecting the dollar. Gold and silver prices go too high, it reflects on the dollar. This is one of the biggest things that they use, biggest tools that they use to help to protect the value of the dollar. There's a fellow out there that's got a theory called the milkshake theory. And, I've listened to his theory very carefully, and it's my opinion on it, is that it's partially correct. In the fact that the dollar is, right now, considered in the financial system to be the only game in town. Right now, it's considered to be that way. But there's so many things undermining the dollar. It's not called the petrodollar for nothing, and the petro part of the petrodollar has been being eroded for a long time now. Dollars for oil in trade, the whole setup that they made with Saudi Arabia and OPEC way back when Kissinger, when Kissinger put this deal together, it worked for a long time. It made king dollar. Now at this point, it's been eroded to the point where it can disappear overnight. And we got an awful lot of things happening really fast within the financial system, and things I want to talk about later in the show. So let's move on a little bit. Let's look at cryptocurrency today. Cryptocurrency's been holding its own. It's been dropping a little bit today, but we're looking at a market cap of $319.3 billion with a Bitcoin dominance of 62.3%. And all the coins are down just a little bit. But if we take a look here at the long-term Bitcoin chart, and it puts it into perspective of what's really going on. We were, not long ago, down at a price of $34.46 right here. It was going along in the low 3,000s all along here. And then the price has shot up. It shot all the way up to 13,800. And what we see now is a consolidation. What we're seeing now is the Bitcoin price consolidates, going up and down a little bit, and it's consolidating in a range around $11,000. Well, it's going to continue to do this for a while, and it's most likely. Now, you got a choice when you're consolidating like this with an asset like cryptocurrency. You got a choice. It can go down or it can go up. There's no third alternative except to go sideways like it is now. It's already consolidating, so it's going to go up or down. The most likely scenario for this is that we're moving toward a leg up, the next leg up, which is probably going to take us up around 16,000 or 15,000 or something. And that's the most likely scenario. Doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. It just means that's the most likely scenario right now at this stage in the game. Let's see. The Dow's been open for 5 minutes. We're down 121 points in the first 5 minutes of being open after the holidays, and that's not surprising considering the Dow's been on such a tear lately. So it's 26,844 today. Let's take a look now at crude oil. Well, I'll tell you what. Crude oil's 56.47, and it's down 87 cents on the day. But this 1.52%. But this is not going to last, and I'm going to tell you guys why. I'm expecting in the next couple months crude oil prices to double. You say, well, how's that's going to happen? How's the next couple months crude oil price is going to double? What's the effect of that's going to be? Wow, that's quite a considerable statement I just made. I mean, that's a big statement. That's a big rash statement. Why am I making that statement? Well, there's reasons, and we're going to get into it. Let's take a look now at U.S. Treasuries. U.S. Treasuries are up today considerably. We could get an enormous springback effect in the Treasuries, where the Treasury yields rise unexpectedly. It could happen. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm kind of expecting it a little bit. A snapback in the Treasuries, in the Treasury yields, rising yields. I'm half expecting it. And suddenly, sharply rising Treasury yields we could get. I'm half expecting that. Not altogether sure. We got some things happening, congealing within the financial system that are awfully hard for me to figure out exactly what's going to happen in the next little while. Things are moving so quick. Let's move on now. And there's a reason for this. I'm going to get to it. 97.23 on the U.S. dollar index. We're seeing a strong dollar. And part of that is, like I said about this milkshake theory, part of that's true. It's only partially true. It's partially correct. And this is why a lot of people have bought into it, because it is partially correct. And we are seeing strength in the dollar, and that's because of if you guys studied that. Anyway, let's move on. This is what's coming in about the next, probably within the next month. This is what's coming. Right here. This is what's coming. Right, within the next month or two. And it's going to shake the world's financial system. Now, this is the world's financial system. I don't know if you can see this. This is a Jenga. Jenga is a game that they play where they pull blocks out. Let me just focus in on the picture here. They pull blocks out from this big stack of blocks, and the loser is a guy that pulls the block, and the whole thing falls down. You know. Falls down on the ground. You know, this is a game of Jenga, you know, a block pulling game. Anyway, the world's financial system is like a giant Jenga board right now. It's going to take a tremendous shaking when we have this happen. You know, when this happens, the Jenga game is going to take a giant shaking. Now here's the thing. How is all of this going to play out? How is this going to configure? Well, one of the clues I have to go by is I'm expecting the oil price to probably double. You know, that's one of the things I'm expecting. But I'm also looking in what are the other ramifications of this? How's this going to play on the world's financial system? Well, I'll tell you what it's like in my mind. You got a guy, and he's got a big V8 car, and he pulls it up and opens up the hood, and he says, I'm going to drop this wrench down into the engine. Well, what's going to happen? You don't know ahead of time. It's hard to configure what exactly is going to happen when he drops that wrench down into the engine. Maybe the wrench will drop right through and land on the ground. Underneath the engine, nothing will happen. Or maybe maybe it'll fall down and get caught in the fan belts and stuff, and all of a sudden there's bang, bang, bing, and the pistons go flying all over the place. That could happen too. Anything could happen. And this is what we're dealing with right now. This is huge. Huge. Now, we also have the trade wars going on in the world right now. And you know what? They're expanding out to more than just the United States and China. They're expanding out. It seems like everybody's going into trade wars now. It's slowing down global trade tremendously. This is going to have a profound effect. Look, global chip supply in jeopardy as new trade feud erupts between Japan and South Korea. Honest to goodness, industry's going to drop off a cliff. We're looking at such turmoil in the financial system right now that, like, I'm on the computer 4 hours a day studying the nuances of what's going to happen in the next month or two. And I'm going to tell you, This should be giving shivers down your spine of what's happening right now. You need to protect yourself right now more than ever with gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies, even though that they might, in the initial phases of this, which is coming right up soon, gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies might take an awful beating. But still, you need to protect yourself with them. Because what's coming is really serious, folks. Listen, thank you guys for listening to this market report. I don't want to be too alarming to you guys, but this is the real world. This is the real situation that's going on out there right now. And the situation is starting to become dire, and we're descending into it so fast. Daily. Looking at the charts and everything. The world economy right now is falling off a cliff, and it's doing it very quickly. Catch you guys in the next report. Bye-bye.